Seniors, let me ask you something first. How old are you, and where are you watching this from today? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. I read every one of them. Now, here's a truth that every orthopedic surgeon knows, but very few say out loud. Walking alone is not enough after the age of 75. And the medical evidence is overwhelming. Nearly 99% of seniors who rely only on walking continue to lose strength, balance, and confidence every single year, even though they truly believe they're doing everything right. I see this pattern constantly in clinics and hospitals. Patients sit across from me and say, "Doctor, I walk every day." Yet they struggle to stand up from a chair, feel unstable on stairs, or end up in the emergency room after what should have been a harmless slip. Here is why walking starts to fail after this age. After 75, the greatest threats are not endurance or step count. The real dangers are muscle loss, joint instability, and slower nerve reactions. These are the factors that cause falls. These are the factors that lead to hip fractures and sudden loss of independence. Walking mainly trains endurance through the same shallow movement pattern repeated over and over. It does not deeply strengthen the hips. It does not stabilize the knees and ankles under sudden stress. And it does not retrain the nervous system to react quickly when balance is lost. That is why someone can walk every day and still remain at high risk. Every orthopedic surgeon sees this pattern clearly. And we also see something else that most seniors are never told. When specific, targeted exercises are added, decline often slows or even reverses. Strength improves. Balance reactions become faster. Joint control becomes steadier. And fall risk drops significantly. These are not intense workouts. They are not gym routines. They are simple, controlled movements designed specifically for aging joints, muscles, and nerves. Study after study confirms this. In this video, I am going to show you 5 orthopedic surgeon-approved exercises you should be doing instead of relying only on walking after 75, ranked from least important to most important. And stay with me until the end, because exercise number 1 can dramatically reduce fall risk and protect your independence in ways walking simply cannot. The scientific studies and clinical sources supporting everything you hear today are linked in the description below. Now, without further delay, let's begin with number 5, an exercise most seniors overlook, even though it quietly strengthens muscles that walking never reaches. Number 5, modified wall push-ups with slow, controlled tempo. We start with an exercise that rebuilds upper body strength, something walking completely ignores. And the beauty of modified wall push-ups is that they meet you exactly where your body is today, while still delivering benefits that normal daily activities simply cannot provide. This is not about brute strength. It is about controlled, intelligent loading of the muscles that protect your joints and stabilize your movements. When you perform a wall push-up correctly, using a slow and deliberate tempo, you are activating more than 15 muscle groups at the same time. This includes your chest, shoulders, triceps, deep core stabilizers, and even the small muscles in your hands and wrists that play a crucial role in grip strength and fall prevention as we age. The difference between casually leaning into a wall and doing this exercise therapeutically comes down to tempo. You want to take 3 full seconds to push away from the wall and 4 seconds to lower yourself back toward it. This creates what exercise physiologists call time under tension, a proven method for stimulating muscle adaptation far more effectively than fast, bouncing movements ever could. This slow loading sends a clear signal to aging muscle fibers that they are still needed and must remain strong. To set this up correctly, stand about 2 feet from a solid wall. Place your hands flat at shoulder height, slightly wider than shoulder width. Step back until your body forms a straight line from your head to your heels when your arms are extended. As you lower toward the wall, inhale slowly through your nose while counting to 4, feeling controlled tension across your chest and arms. Then exhale as you press away over 3 seconds, consciously squeezing your chest as if you are pushing the wall away from you. Here is something I want you to think about as you do this. When was the last time you intentionally slowed down a movement to make it stronger instead of easier? That mindset shift alone changes how your body responds. Perform 8 to 12 repetitions, rest for 30 seconds, and repeat for 2 more sets. Research from the American College of Sports Medicine shows that this exact tempo triggers mechanotransduction, meaning your muscle cells literally sense sustained tension and respond by becoming stronger and more resilient. For adults over 75, this is especially powerful because the exercise is fully adjustable. Standing closer to the wall makes it easier. Stepping farther back makes it harder. This allows you to progress safely, build confidence, and improve strength without stressing your joints or risking injury. The most common mistake I see, both in my clinic and in real life, is people rushing through the movement or cutting the range of motion short because it feels easier. But easier is not what protects your body after 75. When you slow this exercise down and deliberately move through the entire range, you are training functional strength, the exact type of strength your body depends on to push yourself up from a chair, brace your arms during a stumble, or steady yourself when your balance is challenged unexpectedly. Walking simply does not train this protective upper body response. Research consistently shows that seniors who include upper body resistance exercises like this reduce their risk of shoulder injuries by up to 58%, while also maintaining better spinal alignment and posture throughout the day. That forward-rounded posture so many people develop is not inevitable. It's a strength issue, not an age issue. And this foundation becomes critically important as we move into the next exercise, which builds directly on this stability. Before we continue, let me ask you something important. Have you ever noticed how much harder everyday movements become when your upper body feels weak or unstable? That awareness is the first step toward real change. If you've been finding this helpful so far, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe because the exercises ahead are even more important for protecting your independence. Now, let's move to number 4, standing heel raises with a balance challenge. At first glance, this movement looks almost too simple to matter. But when performed correctly, it targets the exact muscles and neurological pathways that decline fastest after 75 and directly determine whether you stay confident on your feet or begin to limit your movement out of fear. Your calf muscles, specifically the gastrocnemius and soleus, function as your body's shock absorbers and forward propulsion system. They help you recover from a stumble, step onto a curb, and control sudden shifts in balance. Without targeted training, these muscles can lose up to 40% of their strength between ages 70 and 80. Walking alone does not prevent this. In fact, it often accelerates the decline because it never challenges the calves through their full functional range. To perform this correctly, stand behind a sturdy chair or kitchen counter. Lightly rest your fingertips on the surface for balance, but do not grip. Slowly rise onto the balls of your feet over 3 seconds, hold at the top for 2 seconds while consciously squeezing your calves, then lower back down over 4 controlled seconds, stopping just before your heels fully touch the floor. This constant tension creates what researchers call continuous loading, which rapidly rebuilds strength and, most importantly, retrains the fast-twitch muscle fibers that allow you to react quickly when balance is suddenly threatened, like catching yourself before a fall or stepping safely onto a curb. The balance challenge is introduced gradually, and this progression is what makes the exercise so effective and safe. Begin with both hands lightly touching your support surface. As your confidence improves, move to one hand, then just one fingertip. Eventually, your goal is to hover your hands just above the surface, touching only if you truly feel unsteady. This controlled progression is not about bravado. It is about training your proprioceptors, the tiny sensory receptors in your muscles, joints, and tendons that constantly inform your brain where your body is in space. These sensors are one of the first systems to decline with age, and walking alone does almost nothing to retrain them. A fascinating study from the University of Pittsburgh showed that seniors who practiced heel raises with progressive balance challenges for just 8 weeks improved their walking speed by 23%. Even more impressive, their fear of falling scores dropped by 45%. That reduction did not come from stronger legs alone. It came from restored confidence. When your brain trusts your body again, movement becomes smoother, faster, and safer. To maximize results, aim for 15 to 20 repetitions, completing 3 controlled sets. But here is a critical detail most people overlook between sets. Instead of standing still, march in place for 30 seconds. This keeps blood circulating and creates what clinicians call active recovery, which prevents muscle cooling and actually enhances strength gains. By the final repetitions of each set, you should feel a deep, controlled burn in your calves. If you don't, slow the tempo even further or rely less on the chair for balance. That burning sensation is not damage. It is a signal that your muscles are releasing growth factors that stimulate strength, circulation, and neuromuscular adaptation in your lower legs. This is what makes heel raises so powerful. They directly improve your walking ability while filling the critical gaps that walking alone leaves behind, especially explosive power and balance control, which become essential for independence as we age. Research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity shows that calf strength is the single best predictor of walking speed in adults over 75. And walking speed itself is so strongly linked to survival, mobility, and cognitive health that physicians now refer to it as the sixth vital sign, alongside blood pressure and heart rate. Before we move on, let me ask you something important. Have you ever noticed how much more confident you feel walking when your lower legs feel strong and responsive? That confidence is not accidental. It is trainable. These stronger calves and improved balance create the perfect foundation for the next exercise, which elevates stability training to a completely new level. Number 3. Single leg stands with progressive variations. At number 3, we reach an exercise that insurance companies would love every senior to master. Single leg stands have been shown to reduce fall risk more effectively than nearly any other intervention. Medicare data reveals that seniors who can hold a single leg stand for just 10 seconds experience 76% fewer fall-related hospital admissions than those who cannot. The power of this seemingly simple movement lies in how it forces your entire neuromuscular system to work as a single coordinated unit. It activates not only the obvious leg muscles, but also dozens of small stabilizers from your ankles, through your hips and core, and even up into your shoulders and neck. To begin safely, position yourself in a doorway or corner where support is immediately available. Lift one foot just 1 to 2 inches off the ground and fix your gaze on a point straight ahead. Visual focus is not optional here. It is a crucial component of balance that many people underestimate, and it plays a major role in stabilizing your nervous system during this exercise. The initial goal is simple and achievable. Hold the position for just 10 seconds on each leg. But the real transformation happens in how you progress beyond that starting point. The first progression is incredibly powerful. While standing on one leg, briefly close your eyes for just 2 to 3 seconds. This removes visual input and forces your proprioceptive system to work at full capacity, essentially rewiring the balance centers of your brain in a way that no amount of walking can ever accomplish. Once you can hold a single leg stance for 30 seconds with your eyes open, it is time to introduce gentle movement. Slowly turn your head from side to side. Reach your arms overhead, or pass a small object, like a water bottle, from one hand to the other. These dynamic variations are critical because real life is never static. You are constantly turning, reaching, and reacting. This is how your body learns to stay stable during real-world situations instead of only in controlled conditions. The research behind this is extraordinary. A long-term study from the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology followed 1,700 seniors over 6 years. Those who practiced single-leg stands daily didn't just experience fewer falls. They maintained faster walking speeds, better cognitive function, and even stronger bones, thanks to the unique loading patterns created by balancing on one leg. The benefits extend far beyond balance. This exercise significantly increases the speed of communication between your brain and your muscles, improving what scientists call neural drive. Neural drive is your nervous system's ability to fully activate and control your muscles. It declines rapidly with age unless it is deliberately challenged. Single leg stands directly reverse that decline. To maximize results, perform 3 rounds on each leg, but here is the key strategy most people miss. Spread them throughout the day instead of doing them all at once. 1 round in the morning, 1 after lunch, and 1 in the evening. This distributed practice creates far stronger and longer-lasting neurological adaptations than doing everything in a single session. The progression path is clear and motivating. Start at 10 seconds, Work up to 30 seconds, then 45 seconds, and eventually aim for 1 full minute on each leg. But remember, quality matters more than duration. A steady, controlled 20-second hold is far more beneficial than a shaky 45-second struggle. What makes this exercise especially powerful after 75 is that it trains the exact situation that causes most falls: momentary single-leg support during walking, turning, or climbing stairs. Walking itself never isolates or strengthens this position because you move through it too quickly to create adaptation. This improved stability and neural control sets the stage perfectly for the second most important exercise, one that restores a quality of movement walking completely ignores. Number 2. Chair squats with explosive intent. This exercise is a complete game changer for anyone over 75. Chair squats with explosive intent target the exact movement pattern that determines whether you remain independent or gradually lose the ability to perform basic daily tasks. The research supporting this is so strong that many physical therapists now consider it the single most important exercise for aging adults after balance training. Here is the hard truth about aging. You lose power, the ability to generate force quickly, up to 3 times faster than you lose strength. And it is this loss of power that makes standing up from chairs, climbing stairs, and recovering from a stumble increasingly difficult. Walking does absolutely nothing to address this decline. To set up correctly, choose a sturdy chair that places your knees at approximately 90 degrees when seated. Position your feet shoulder-width apart with your toes slightly turned outward. And now comes the crucial difference from what most people do. Instead of simply standing up in a relaxed way, you're going to lower yourself slowly for 3 to 4 full seconds, maintaining complete control. Gently touch the chair without fully sitting down. Then, drive upward as quickly as you safely can, while maintaining perfect form. This pairing of a slow, controlled descent with an explosive rise creates what exercise scientists call compensatory acceleration training. And this is critical after 75 because it specifically rebuilds fast-twitch muscle fibers, the exact fibers responsible for quick reactions, sudden power, and independence. These fibers disappear rapidly with age unless they are directly challenged. And these are the fibers you rely on to catch yourself during a stumble, stand up without assistance, and move confidently through daily life.
Propre technique metteurs.
Keep your chest tall, eyes forward, and initiate the movement by pushing your hips back first rather than simply bending your knees. As you rise, drive through your heels and think about pushing the floor away from you, not just standing up. That mental cue alone has been shown in EMG studies to increase muscle activation by up to 30%. A landmark study published in the Journal of Gerontology followed 400 adults over the age of 75 for 3 years. Those who performed explosive chair squats just twice per week maintained leg power equivalent to people 10 years younger. But here's the most striking result. They had 52% fewer incidents of being unable to rise from a chair without using their arms, one of the strongest predictors of nursing home admission. The progression for this exercise is simple, safe, and incredibly effective. Begin with 8 to 10 repetitions, using a higher chair if needed. Focus on the slow descent and explosive rise. As strength improves, you can lower the chair height, increase repetitions up to 15, or add light resistance by holding water bottles or canned goods at chest level. Perform 3 sets, resting about 1 minute between each. Pay close attention to how your legs feel. You should experience strong muscle engagement and perhaps a deep burn but never joint pain. If you feel discomfort in your knees, check that they are tracking directly over your toes and not collapsing inward. The hormonal response to this exercise is especially important after 75. The explosive phase triggers the release of growth hormone and IGF-1, powerful anti-aging hormones that not only build muscle but also strengthen bones, support brain health, and enhance overall vitality. Benefits steady walking simply cannot provide. Research from the National Institute on Aging confirms that power-based training like explosive chair squats increases bone density more effectively than traditional strength training or walking. Participants showed measurable improvements in hip and spine density in as little as 16 weeks, precisely the areas where fractures are most devastating in older adults. This combination of functional strength, explosive power, and hormonal activation prepares your body perfectly for the most important movement of all. Number 1. Step-ups with knee drive and balance hold. This is the number 1 exercise orthopedic surgeons worldwide now consider the ultimate anti-aging movement for adults over 75. And the science behind step-ups with knee drive and balance hold is extraordinary. When researchers at Stanford University compared this exercise against 47 other movements, it produced the most comprehensive improvements ever recorded in functional ability, fall prevention, and quality of life scores in adults over 75. This exercise is essentially a supercharged version of stair climbing, but with critical additions, balance, coordination, and power that transform it from a simple daily movement into a complete neuromuscular retraining system. It directly targets virtually every physical decline associated with aging. The setup is simple. You need just one step or a sturdy platform, ideally 6 to 8 inches high to start. Your bottom stair at home works perfectly. Begin by placing one foot fully on the step. But instead of stepping up the way you normally would, drive firmly through the heel of the foot on the step as you rise. At the same time, bring your opposite knee upward toward your chest in a controlled motion. Once you reach the top, pause and hold your balance for a full 2 seconds, standing tall on one leg. Then slowly lower yourself back down under control. This combination does something remarkable. It forces your brain to coordinate strength, balance, timing, and precision simultaneously, creating new neural pathways. In simple terms, it rewires your nervous system, making it faster, more responsive, and more coordinated, while also building strength in the exact movement patterns you use dozens of times every day. The Stanford study that brought this exercise into the spotlight followed 246 adults between the ages of 75 and 92 for 12 weeks, and the results were extraordinary. Participants improved their stair climbing speed by 38% and reduced their fall risk scores by 61%. But here is the most powerful result. 89% reported feeling more confident in daily life, with many stating they felt as though they had gotten their lives back after years of gradual decline. Proper execution is essential. Maintain an upright posture throughout the movement and resist the urge to lean forward. The magic happens at the top, that brief balance hold on one leg with the knee raised. This position challenges every major system in your body at once. Your muscles for strength and stability, your vestibular system for balance, your proprioception for body awareness, and even your cardiovascular system. For maximum benefit, perform 8 to 10 repetitions on each leg, completing 3 total sets. But here is the coaching cue that makes all the difference. Quality always beats quantity. One perfectly controlled repetition with solid balance and smooth movement does far more good than 5 rushed, sloppy ones. Progression is simple and motivating. Start with a 4-inch step if needed. As strength and confidence improve, move up to 6 inches, then 8 inches, and eventually 10 inches. You can further increase difficulty by adding light hand weights or extending the balance hold at the top. What makes this exercise truly unmatched for adults over 75 is how it combines functional strength for stair climbing, dynamic balance training, power development through the knee drive, and coordination challenges that actively engage the brain. No single exercise delivers this level of total body anti-aging benefit. Long-term research makes this even more compelling. A 5-year follow-up study found that seniors who continued performing step-ups with knee drives 3 times per week maintained independent living at rates 4.2 times higher than those who relied on walking alone. They also experienced dramatically lower rates of hip fractures, knee replacements, and dependence on mobility aids. This exercise is infinitely scalable. No matter your starting point, it meets you where you are and continues to challenge you as you improve. Unlike walking, which becomes less effective as your body adapts, step-ups remain powerful because you can always progress them. Remember, these 5 exercises are not just movements. They are your insurance policy against physical decline, the kind that quietly steals independence from millions of seniors every year. Start with just 1 or 2 exercises if 5 feels overwhelming. Master them first. Then add the others as your confidence grows. Consistency matters far more than perfection. And doing something is infinitely better than doing nothing. If this video helped you understand what your body truly needs after 75, make sure to subscribe for more science-backed health guidance that can genuinely change your life. Thank you for watching.